Walking to the party, I'm feeling myself. Walking to the party, I ain't feeling no one else. That's it. Tonight's gonna be my night. I'm feeling alive. I don't know about you, but I feel so alive. Come on, that's it.
Hi, welcome everybody. Welcome to the second Crypto Chill stream brought to you by Cryptonairz. I have a series, multiple guests here today to talk to you about everything from technical analysis, what's going on in the crypto markets, and crypto tax calculators. Just so everybody knows, nothing that is presented here tonight or ever on this channel is considered financial advice. Everybody is here for entertainment purposes. They're just providing information and things as they see it, and they're not telling you to buy or sell anything. One of the first topics I want to talk about, and this is just for myself, is to talk about kind of the toxic behavior that happens in crypto, and especially in social media, whether it's Telegram, Discord channels, Instagram, however people are talking to each other. A lot of this that we find in crypto is literally extremely, extremely toxic. And there seems to be this battle that always goes back and forth. And for many of the viewers here today, they probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. And one of the things is really the idea of technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and maybe using the news and what's potentially driving markets in the news sector as an indicator to buy or sell. So one of the first people I want to bring on the stream tonight is Carolina Keith, who does strictly technical analysis amongst all markets. And Keith is here to talk about how much the reliability or the reliability of technical analysis. So Keith, why don't you come up and let's get you started.
What up, y'all? How's everybody doing? All right. So, yeah, what he said is I don't do anything but 100% TA. I don't follow the news. Let me fix this mic. I don't follow the news. I don't follow, I guess you'd call it market sentiments or anything like that. I don't care what's happening on Fox or CNN or MSNBC. I don't care. It's my belief that more than likely the chart shows you what's happening before anything else happens, before anything else shows up, before anything else, everything gives you a signal first. This goes all the way back to the 20s, when the first stock market crash happened. I can show you on the chart where the crash was going to happen before it happened. And you look at that and you say, "Oh, that's stupid. You can't do that." And that's fine. I understand where you're coming from because it's a big bite to chew off, to hear that whatever you thought was wrong, right? It'd be like if aliens came back and everybody said, "Well, I told you they were real the whole time," and we go, "No, you didn't." Well, it's the same situation, only with numbers, right? Okay, so the basis of it is really, I don't trust people. More often than not in life, I've been screwed over by people. I've been lied to by people. I've never been lied to by math. If it has, it was because some person manipulated that math before I ever saw the numbers. So what I did was, I'm not joking to you, at least 26 pages of information written down here. Obviously, I'm not going to blow through 26 pages. That's ridiculous. So what I did was I went through a couple of the most important things that have happened over the course of XRP, since that's everybody's favorite wonderful wonder currency that only moves because of the news, right? There are YouTube channels dedicated to it, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to show you exactly how wrong you can be by trying to trade the news. All right, so the first thing I did was, I've never been on the site before, but there's a site called xrparcade.com, and I'll plug the dude who did it, right? Because it was helpful for me because I was able to pull information off his site and use it to put on the chart. I plugged it in. Essentially, there's important, quote unquote, important news timeline on there that he's made, and it looks pretty nice. It's presentable. It's not all the information. Okay, there's a ton more, including things like Visa, MasterCard, in particular banks that they've partnered with, all these little tiny details amongst the things, but the big ones are on there, right? So I don't know how many this is, 3, 6, there's a bunch on here, okay? Probably 25 or 30 different items that I've got written down here. All right, so basically I went through each one of them one by one by one by one. I went on the chart and looked to see if they were a buy or a sell first. All right, mostly they're sales. I'll go ahead and tell you that now. Another thing that I noticed is most of the news regarding the coin is all buy. It's all bullish news. It's good news. It's always good news. I managed to find 4 out of 27 or 28 that was bad news. One of them was the SEC lawsuit. Okay. So what I did was basically just went through one by one by one. I found 4 out of roughly 30. Okay. If you do the math, it comes out to about 15 to 20%. I think I found 16% was what I had just off the data that he had on his website. Okay. And it started with, what did the chart look like? Was it a bullish news? Was it a bearish news? The date of the news, exactly. How much percent up or down the chart went particularly. I even charted when the bull run started, when it stopped, when it started back, each individual time over and over and over. And the big ones that really shocked me were the ones like the MoneyGram partnership, right? If ever there was bullish news, if ever there was something that would move the chart, it would be crypto moving from the crypto sphere into the stock world. Okay, you have a company purchasing MoneyGram, that's a crypto company purchasing MoneyGram that's on the stock market, on the DJI. The stock went down 74%. Well, we had the most bullish news possible. They got somebody who's going to come in and save the company, down 74%. It was already a buy at that point. So you can even say that the news caused the chart to go the wrong way. So another one, there's Series C funding. And if you don't know what that is, essentially when a company creates a business, they have these funding routes. First funding is initial investors. Those are the guys who get paid whenever you get pissed off when the chart goes down at first. Those are the first people who get paid. The Series B funders are the same people plus some extra guys. And the Series C people are usually the final ones who had the least amount of money to put in, but still wanted to get in early. After all that funding, and their Series C funding comes in, that's the bullish news, man. That's excellent news for any stock, right? The chart moved 1%. 1% on a crypto that moves 10% per hour sometimes. Nothing. It was already a sell at that point, as a matter of fact. Another big move. We hear all this news about ISO 20022 coins, right? Those are the only ones that are ever going to be any good. It can't possibly be any better than that. Those are the ones. Those are the ones. When it was announced that there would be one on May 5th, the chart went down 22%. It was a buy at the moment. So the news again did the opposite effect and made things way worse than they already were. So the last one I'll bring up is the Pay ID one. I remember all this hype over the Pay ID stuff. Oh my God, Pay ID, go get you a Pay ID. Go sign up real quick because it's going to. When's the last time you heard anything from it? Nothing. You've heard nothing from it after that initial little week, down 17% the day of the announcement. The chart was a buy, turned into a sell. Now, again, I can go through every one of these one by one by one by one, and I'm not going to do that. That's ridiculous because I've already made my point. More so, I can do this with a whole list of coins that I pulled just off of Coinbase. You know, there was an effect called there was an article called the Coinbase Effect. Everybody saw that, right? A coin goes on Coinbase, the chart goes up. I have proof that there's about a 18% correlation with that. So if I were to tell you I'm sending you to Vegas.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. If I was to send you to Vegas with $100 and I told you I need you to make bets and win, would you go with the 18% or the 72% or the 82%? I would go with the 82% every single time at Vegas. I would not play the 18%. Why? Because I'm probably not going to win. I probably would win if I played the 82%. Now, am I saying there's zero effect? No, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. That's stupid. However, I'm saying it's a total 100% waste of time to waste energy worrying whether I'm going to get something listed on Coinbase or not, whether or not the news is going to move the chart up or down or not. It's a waste of time. Spend your time somewhere else. Why not? And here we are, all the social media stuff you're talking about, all on the simple numbers that I just repeated to you. And again, 26 pages of this, I could do this all night long with multiple coins. I just picked XRP because that's the moon coin. So there you have it.
Well, let me ask you, okay, so I've been following some technical analysis. I can't do technical analysis. I understand. It's like almost, we've talked privately. It's, I can understand some Spanish, right? but I don't know it all, right? So I've been following technical analysis for a couple of years, so I do understand that. But I also have watched the news, and in regards to a lot of everything that's going on in terms of the social media kind of feud that's going on, we can at least agree that at times, because you said it's just not as high of a probability, at times the media and news does drive some type of price action, whether it's positive or negative.
Yeah, I mean, for 15% ish, sure. It's just not something I'm willing to waste my time on. That's all.
And I agree with that. And in terms of this whole thing, there is room in this space, whether it's crypto or whether it's in traditional stocks, that we can, I don't want to say rely, because obviously if I was playing probabilities, just like you brought up Vegas, right? If I was playing probabilities, I wouldn't rely solely on the news. I would maybe, if there's a combination of both, maybe you're going to see a larger upside or downside depending on that news forecast and what the technicals are saying.
Correct. Now, you're on to something there. Could there possibly be a way to pull market sentiment and add that into what you're already doing? Sure. There's other people out here who do that. DAN on YouTube, who they've mentioned us before on there. He has a guy who does that. He's quote unquote scrapes the market for news. But again, it's hit and miss. And I'll say this, if something's 15% reliable, that's not common sense. That's the farthest thing from common sense. Common sense would be the 82%. Now, I'm all about making things more efficient. That's literally what I do for a living. I look at a chart and I try to find the most efficient place to buy and sell it. I don't care what it is. Stocks, Forex, it doesn't matter. Equities, securities, I don't care. I want the most common sense answer I can get. And if it's a 15% accuracy, I can't find that in my click finger to be the one to use that. And to call it common sense and base your entire argument on that, gosh, man, that seems like a recipe for wrecked, if I've ever seen one.
And honestly, I couldn't agree more. And I've talked to obviously you and the other party that's feuding. And I may have told both of you that you guys actually see things the same way. You guys are actually on the same page. But it appears that once somebody, especially on social media, hold on, buddy. Sorry, I got my son here. Especially on social media, it's almost as if you draw that line in the sand. Not you in particular, just people in general, where they make a claim or you say something. It's almost like you have to literally stand by that 100%. And in my private conversations with you and the other person involved in this kind of feud, you guys actually see things the same way. And that was one of the things I was trying to do with bringing you guys both on, was I think we can come to an agreement that there is opportunity for both ways of looking at things. Technical analysis tried and proven that there's a higher probability, either the upside or the downside, given the technicals, over using just media. But the media can and sometimes does make a play, just not as high of a probability. And that was my whole goal, obviously.
Fair argument.
Yeah. And that was my whole goal, was trying to bring you guys together. And, obviously, I think you and the people here today, we want to have an inclusive, we all want to be in this together. We all want to attempt to make money together and do it the best possible way. and technical analysis, whether it's traditional stocks or whether it is crypto, it works. And that was just one of the things that I wanted to do by bringing you on, to allow you to show whether it's XRP or the other 26 pages that you have of other cryptos. And again, I know we've talked privately about this, and to show everybody else that there's room for it. It's just not as high of a probability. And I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. I don't want to be mean to people, and it's not the intention at all. But what I come into is, if I just give you some information, you're less likely to listen to me if I say, oh yeah, you're just less likely to hear what I have to say. You just are. It's been that situation for me for 2 years now. I've been trying to get people to listen. All right. What I've learned is, if I just throw the facts in your face, you either hate me or listen. One of the two. All right. So I got hated on this one, but somebody somewhere went, you know what? Holy shit, he might be right. So if I can help one person understand what I'm trying to say, there's a big catch there for me. Like, there wasn't always this situation. There wasn't a Twitter forever. There wasn't a Telegram. There wasn't a YouTube. There was no news. All you had was the newspaper, and the radio hopefully might give you a tip. So you couldn't do this. You couldn't sit and wait on the news. You had to find a way to play the odds in your favor. And what was that way? That was technical analysis. It's been that way for over 100 years now. So I don't say things just to be saying them. I don't say things just to try to make myself seem right. I'm wrong all the time. One of something I was wrong about was ontology. I hit my stop loss and kicked me out already. So there you go. That's what happens when you try to play the odds. You lose sometimes. Everything I had hit stop losses. What am I supposed to do? Like wave a magic wand? That's not how it works at all. And I think if everybody in crypto would just kind of take a step back and work together, you'd make far more money, because I'm telling you right now, stock guys work together. They don't fight each other. They'll call someone. I brought this up last time. I'll call Grant and I'll say, hey, Grant, man, I got a hot tip, blah, 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 blah. And he'll say, dude, I'll tell you what, my firm will sell you some of your shares if you'll help me out with that. Okay, sweet. Here you go. Bam. Thank you. I got one more guy on the phone who can probably help us out too. And he calls him up. And now you have a network of people making money. In crypto, it's the total 100% opposite. Screw you if you don't like XDC. Screw you if you don't like XRP. What kind of person doesn't like Bitcoin, you ass? And so forth and so on. And this is what we run into. Now, it's an immature space. It's going to slowly evolve, especially when more mature investors come in. And I say mature investors, I mean years of time spent, not age. Okay, years of time spent. That's going to have to change slowly. There's nothing we can do about that.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. And like I've told you guys before, I don't want this stream to last about 2.5 hours. I think the last one. So I appreciate you coming on. We're gonna bring on a couple other guests here, and obviously towards the end or during this whole thing, everyone's going to be up on the screen and we'll be chatting together. But one of the things before we bring on our next guest, Stephen, who has done tremendous work on various calculators, whether it's Ohm or Strong or tax calculators using your MetaMask, as I wanted to bring up our a YouTube page, especially for Strong. I literally watch this thing every single day. I don't necessarily know what the page is called, and I apologize for that. Strong Block Chart is what it's called. It literally gives you the price of Strong, the price of ETH, Bitcoin. Looks like maybe the top 10 tokens over here, but it runs 24/7. It's an awesome stream. So if you guys are sitting at work or at home and you want to keep some kind of charts up, you can always keep this up. Whoever started this, I believe it's Thomas, at least in Discord. I believe it is him. I could be totally wrong, but he's done a great job of this. So I wanted to bring that up and show you guys that option is available if you're looking to kind of watch the price action of Strong. It even has gas as well. So,
hey, Grant, one more time. Can you pull my camera back up? I got my camera turned off, so it's just my screen. I wanted to show Strong before I got off here. Sure. It's kind of jogging sideways at the moment. People are wondering about it. It's bouncing between sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. It's in a channel. You see the purple channel highlighted. It's been really respecting it really well. It's playing with the midline right now. I don't like that. When it plays with the midline, there's a chance it fails because it's under it. If it does fail, I see support around 400. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. If it does happen, that's an excellent buying opportunity. I don't think 300 right now. It's a little obtuse. I'm more inclined to think it hovers around 475 to 525, back and forth until we get some defined price action. So if you can, do what you can with what you got. That's all.
Awesome. Thanks for that update. And Keith, I know you have a YouTube channel, you have your own Patreon, you have a Telegram, stuff like that. Do you want to tell the people about that? I know you're going to go live right after this, so
yeah, I'll be
feel
on
free
YouTube
to
directly after this at 11. I always start 11 sharp. It's TA with Keith Lay, just like you say it, spell it, TA with Keith Lay. Patreon is Carolina Keith _1. I'm sorry, it's just Carolina Keith. Patreon.com/Carolina Keith. And then if you want to do, I don't suggest it, but if you want to do Twitter, it's Carolina Keith _1. But hey, Twitter's, it's slowly improving. It's a slow grind. It's a slow grind.
Yeah. And guys, definitely check them out. I subscribe to Keith, although they have some strange requirements in that Telegram channel that they want me to participate. I'm there for the charts, man. I'm there for the charts. You're trying to kick me out, trying to kick me out every week for not participating. But you know, they do a good job, and it's not just Keith that provides charts and technical analysis. You have a whole group of people that are helping out, correct?
Oh yeah, it's not just me. It's a team effort. I'm only one person. I need more eyes. We need more eyes. The more eyes we get, the better. The more we can cover the market, the less we miss.
Awesome. And if you don't mind sticking around, I'm gonna keep you on the stream. I'm gonna bring up Steven to talk about his tax calculators. I'm gonna talk about all the calculators he's done. He's got a couple of calculators here in the works he's going to talk about. He's going to tell you guys how to get them and so on and so forth. So without further ado, I'm going to bring up Steven and go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Steven. My YouTube channel is The Calculator Guy, and I make calculators. Probably some of you have seen my Strong calculator. Can I get a screen share real quick? All right, this is the sustainability data. We can go over this if you want to, but this is like the calculator they started off with, the original, that eventually evolved into the Strong Pro, which is somewhere around here. Here it is. Live data, not working right now. But yeah, so the tax calculator, why is it so cool? Here's why. So you can take your Metamask data right out of Xerion, copy it, paste it into here. And it doesn't matter what currency you're in. So I have an automatic currency tracker. So this currency would be USD. Okay, kind of boring, but whatever. And it tells you all of the nodes you ever purchased. This person has 33 nodes. It tells you all of your approval fees, tells you your costs, and all these costs are when you purchased it. So it's really, really robust data. Same thing if you have NFTs, they'd be here. If you bought them on OpenSea, it comes up over there. All of your claims, all of your maintenance fees, and then totals. And so this is where you can sort of calculate your estimated tax data. So currently, a lot of people don't know what's going on in the tax world with crypto, especially with nodes. Some people are saying you can deduct your node costs because they're indefinite. You always lose that money. Some people say because there's a chance we get that back, they're not deductible. They're considered some form of property. So this calculator allows you to account for that. So let's say you don't want to deduct those. You just unclick it. And then it'll calculate down here what you chose to deduct, what your claimed income is overall, and what your expected tax is. So that is the tax calculator in a nutshell, like a really small nutshell. But again, all of the data is historical data. So it is not giving you your prices based on the current prices. It's based on historical data, which is why it makes it so useful as a tax estimator. If you're interested in that, just send me a message on Twitter, and I will give it. Well, I won't give it to you. I will sell it to you. It is currently at $85. So that's the cost of that. Most of my calculators are free. So let's look at a few of those really quickly. The Strong Calc Basic, which hopefully most of you have access to. This is free. You can play with all the blue stuff. All my calculators are the same. Play with the blue stuff. Don't touch the green stuff. So if you want to like simulate a halvening, just 0.5, and you would see how the metrics change based off of that. Same thing if you want to change like how many blocks are mined per day. And this allows you to do like compounding predictions, goal calculator if you want a particular goal that you're looking for. Let's just really quickly talk about sustainability, because I know everyone who's in on Strong is constantly thinking about sustainability. And so I used to have this little graph here, which makes it look like a much bigger deal than it really is, right? Like, oh my God, we're trending down a little bit and we're a little bit lower. But if you zoom out, right, this is between 220,000 strong in the rewards wallet and 240,000 strong in the rewards wallet. If you zoom out a bit, this is what you get, right? We're basically flat. Our average loss in the rewards wallet per day over the past, I don't know, month and 10 days is 89 strong. So we're losing maybe 89 strong per day. And that's pretty dang good in my opinion. And we're down quite a bit recently since Ethereum gas went way down, and then there was a huge sell-off recently. But still, I think we're doing amazingly. So right now we're at 226,000 strong in the rewards wallet. We were at 230,000 on August 8th. Okay, let's look at a few other calculators really quick, just so you can see what's going on. The Storex Calculator. I know we got a few Storex people in here. God, you're all so lucky. I'm still trying to get a Storex node, and I feel bad for missing out. But I made you guys a calculator because Keith, the amazing Keith, he helped fund that. So thank you to him. Give him a tip for that.
Tip that man. Steven's great.
Yeah. And tip Keith. Okay, so I also made this thing, which is not live yet, but I think it's really cool. So here's what it does. It allows you to put in so I saw Keith had Osmo up there, Osmosis. So if you have like a Osmosis Atom liquidity pool token, you can just add that, your initial investment, the amount of the token staked, APR and APY. So if you don't know how to calculate APR and APY, guess what? I made you a freaking calculator. You can use my APR to APY calculator to predict that, and then plug those numbers in, APR and APY, and you can see the difference between APR and APY, and you can track all of your staking stuff here. So that's the goal. And if you're actually just staking a particular coin, you can use live data, because everyone likes live data. Why not? And this will refresh it. It'll give you your totals, all that kind of stuff. It's even projected tax. So that's one of the sheets that I'm working on. Another sheet that I'm working on that's going to be hopefully kind of big is a Metamask Parser. So it's like the Strong tax estimator, except it does every single coin. So you paste your MetaMask data. It tells you every single instance where you received some coin. Then it gives you all of those received totals for each coin, and in fiat value. Then every single trade you ever made on that wallet, your trade totals, your bought totals, and your sold totals. This particular wallet had some RIP McCafe and some whacked, which is an interesting coin. And then all of your sends. So this is where you're going to find those weird pairs, like this ETH strong pairing where it's in the same cell. That is a node. And there are a few other instances, a few other coins that have things like this. And these are going to be your tax anomalies anyway, so it's really good that you catch these. So when you have node income, your MetaMask doesn't really recognize it. So my job with this is to do something that Coinly can't. It's to catch that extra income coming in and find ways to tax it when eventually it gets to the capital gains instance where you're trading it for another coin, and to do that accurately. That's sort of my hope. And then like approvals and contracts and other stuff. So that's all in the work. It's trying to parse every single thing in the MetaMask data and spit out meaningful results for you to use in your daily tax ongoings and just like for your own records. Also, I made an Ohm calc. I know Ohm is so hot right now. I can't believe it's past $600. It's ridiculous. But like this, it's just, the reason I was so happy with this is because I got to use logarithms for the first time since, I don't know, high school. So, got to break out that pre-calculus. But, just a lot of people get messed up because they want to type in the yearly ROI instead of the rebase. Remember, green stuff, don't touch it. Blue stuff, mess with it. So I think maybe it's maybe it went down to 3877. I don't really know, but that's what you would change. And then you notice that the yearly ROI automatically updates. Green stuff auto updates. Blue stuff is for you to edit. And you can check out, and all of these, right? These are blue, so you could change these. If you want to look at 3 weeks out, you could, right? In 3 weeks, you would estimate to get $855 in just profit and just gains, leaving you at a total of 3,900 whatever. So that's the Ohm calc. And yeah, that's basically, I have a strong Calculator Pro because I'm using one of my Google accounts right now. I've maxed my API calls for the live data. So I'd have to switch my Google accounts to get this live data. But when I share this with other people, they can, use their live data as much as they possibly want. One of the things that you might find interesting about this is the metals, is it worth it stuff. So this will tell you exactly if you use the money to buy node instead of buying a metal, how you would have fared. And currently, this is sort of hidden data that usually would pay for, but it's okay. Currently, under almost every circumstance, you're going to end up doing better with nodes than you are with metals. Don't tell David Moss I said that.
Well, I think not to cut you off there, but
good.
We've talked about, or I've talked about this before, whether it's in our Discord channel, maybe even on Twitter, that the idea when they first announced the Cowabunga halvening, if you will, the idea of the silver NFT would have been better than making a node. And I think that was always their intention, was to have the NFTs at some point, maybe not bronze, but silver, be better than making a node. And that was almost a selling point in my interpretation of it.
Yeah, and that's just not the reality though. Like, so let's look at the way they would have got away with that is because you would have been able to make like 1.9 nodes, which rounds down to 1. But now, because the price has changed so dramatically, it's completely different. But let's just look at that, right? So right now, silver generates, 0.05 strong per day and 46.56 strong per year. That's just how much strong a silver will always produce, as long as you stake it to 2. You could buy 2 nodes with that money and still have 6.5 strong left over. So those 2 nodes would generate you 66.74 strong. Now, if the base rewards got halved, right, then you're right. Then a silver would be better. So I guess you're right. In the event that there's a halvening, silver does look pretty good.
The thing is, I honestly don't believe there's going to be one, which I'm fine. I mean, I kind of aped into a silver. I've got a good opportunity. Someone was trying to sell it in the strong, or the unofficial, hopefully soon to be official strong Discord. And they sold it for a loss to them, a gain to me. But, so I bought it when we thought that this was going to be a requirement. And then I looked at, hey, this is also going to be an opportunity where I know that this would be more than what a node would be, and for the price at the time, I couldn't really pass it up. Not that I'm too salty about it, because I am happy that I have it. And the one thing that is nice about the nodes is that you can always sell them. So that you do have that opportunity. I'm sure that I can sell a node, or a NFT right now for much more than I purchased it for. So
no, not to cut you off, but actually I just updated. I haven't played with this thing in a while. If strong got back to 600, it looks like a silver may actually be worth your while, even at 0.1. Look at these numbers here. End of year value for nodes, 33.37 strong, because you'd only be able to make 1 node with that cost versus the 34.77 strong you would get from the silver. So as strong value goes up, as counterintuitive as that sounds, the metals become more worth it.
Interesting. That's an interesting thing, and I'm sure that when I can wrap my brain around all this math that you so eloquently can put together, it seems almost daily. It seems you come up with these charts, and you have these charts almost daily. I don't know how you do it. I'm sure at some point I'll be able to wrap my head around it. I dropped your Twitter handle in the comments so people can find you. Is there anywhere else that people can find you to try to pick these up?
Yeah, you can find me in Telegram, which is just Stephen Strong, so STEPHENSTRONG. And aside from that, that's really the only place that I am. I do have a YouTube channel, so where I explain the tax calculators, where I explain if you want to get into yield farming, I can sort of transition right into that.
Yeah, go ahead. And that was one of the things I was going to talk to you next. You had made a tweet, it was yesterday or 2 days ago, about thinking about setting up a Patreon page to discuss yield farming and what you're doing with that. And that is something that I know for myself I'm totally interested in, know nothing about. So please explain it to me like I'm 5, and I would sit here and just really appreciate that.
Sure, yeah. So I'm not going to do the Patreon at the moment, at least, because I just want to give out free stuff and sort of like let people also get on the opportunities right now. It's not pay to play. So I just want and also for the Strong Calc Pro, it's by donation, whatever you can afford. If you can only afford $5 and you give me $5, I will give you the Pro calculator. I've had donations ranging from $5 to like $350. So whatever people can afford. I don't want to make it inaccessible. But let's look at yield farming. Okay, so let's start with probably the more legitimate yield farming and then like work our way to the less legitimate yield farming. Not to say that Guppy Finance isn't legitimate, because I'm making a bunch of money off them right now. Seriously, shout out to Guppy Finance. But like osmosis, I think a lot of us are in osmosis. Sure, it hurts that Adam took a deep dive, took a dump today. But what is yield farming? Yield farming is essentially you're adding liquidity to some swap, and you're getting paid for it. So here, you just want to click. You want to find a pool. So 188% APR, which means not compounded. That's pretty dang good already. Try to find that in the stocks. But there's 213% over here. If you like Crow, if anyone's into CDC, 222%. But basically, you find the pool you like. I like Atom Osmo. I like both those coins. You add liquidity. You need 50% of both. So like, whatever the dollar amount of Atom you have, you would need that same dollar amount of Osmo. You would max those both out. You'd click add liquidity. Then you'd get a liquidity token, which you would stake essentially here. 14 days. This just means like your unbonding period. But you can compound the whole time. You can compound daily. So I would max that out. I would bond it. And you can see I already have some bonded right now. I accidentally unbonded these thinking that's how you compounded, but I'm an idiot. I figured out that's not true. Luckily, with osmosis, you earn your rewards even when you're unbonding. Thank God. So this is some pretty cool stuff. So let me show you why it's so cool here. So 188%, right? That is the APR. Now I compound daily, which means I take my Osmo rewards, I sell half of the Osmo for Atom, and then I add that back to the liquidity pool, and then I stake that liquidity token again. So let me say that again. I get my rewards in Osmo. I sell half of that for Atom. So I have half Osmo, half Atom. I add that to the liquidity up here, and then I stake that liquidity token here. So if you do that daily, and you jump over to my APR to APY calculator, 188%, daily, with a compounding fee of nothing because it's on the Cosmos blockchain, your 188% APR turns into 552% APY, which is a daily return of almost a full percent. Actually, but it compounds, so it ends up being more than that. But there you go. That's the power of compounding interest. So that's osmosis. Now let's get a little bit riskier. Some people would say that Tokamak is, I don't know if it's Tokamak or Tokemake, is less risky, but it's on the Ethereum blockchain. So, you're paying gas out the whatever, And so if you look here, the Tok Uni is 322% APR. Well, can you really turn that into APY if gas fees are super high? As long as your gas fees are lower than what you're pulling out, then it's always better to compound. Let me show you what I mean. And it's the same thing. You would just pop this out. You would need half toke, half ETH. This is the same thing for all liquidity pools. You get a token, you come back here, and then you just stake the token, right? Max deposit. That's it. All liquidity pools are very similar, just like that. So let's go back over to the APY calculator, 320%, something like that.
And while you're calculating that, I didn't see on Toke, is there a lockup like there is on Osmosis? I know I am on Osmosis, and I've been locked up or whatever. Did Toke have a lock on their
so kind of, they have a 1 week. So that's why you'll see I have days till compound is 7 days, because you get rewarded once every 7 days. So you can't compound daily like Osmosis. You can compound weekly, and it's going to cost you a lot of gas. So that's where you put this number here. And I don't know if there's an unbonding period, because I'm not really interested in unbonding right now. I'm just interested in like accruing this compound interest, and then taking those gains and using that as passive income. But if there is one, please someone say it in the comments. I'm unsure. Okay, so I think it's about $50. Maybe let's even go 60. Right? It's $50 to just. It's roughly $18 to unstake and then restake, and then there may be another $18 to add liquidity. So I'm going to say around $60, right? So if I'm getting $75 and I'm sorry, I would be getting $135 per week. Only 75 of that after these fees. Is it worth it? Yeah, absolutely, because your compounding APY is still going to be 474% instead of 320%. So it's still better, even with these gas fees, to compound weekly back into the liquidity pool. There's that. And then finally, I gotta mention Guppy Finance, because it's just ridiculous. Like every time I look at my earnings, it's dumb. I know it's super high risk. Please don't ape into this. It's, be smart. This is on the Polygon blockchain. But like, if you just sit here and wait, you will watch me gain another dollar just existing. So same thing, right? You trade, you get Guppy, you get USDC, you get your liquidity token over here. It tells you what to do. You stake it here, and then you can catch it, do that again, get your Guppy, get your USDC, stake it again, and you're just like, so let's put these numbers in for fun, right? So 16, and you can compound. The crazy thing about Guppy is you can compound literally every minute if you wanted to. I probably compound once every 2 hours. Every time I get $10, I compound. But let's just say you compound once daily, just for fun. And I know, these numbers aren't going to be the same. Anything could happen. It could be a rug pull. I don't know. I don't think it is, though. But, do your own research, please. Don't ape into this. But just for fun, right? So the current APY is like 1,600%. And you can compound once a day, and there are no fees. And so let's just say you put in 2,000 for fun. The compounding APY is, what is that? 1,000 million, 6, is that 1, 2, 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that is 632 million% APY. So at an APY of 632 million%, I'm willing to take a little bit of risk. Like if this is the high risk portion of my portfolio. And I'm having a lot of fun with it right now. I know they haven't even started their marketing yet. They don't even have their vaults yet. So it's super early over there, and it could all fail, right? So please do not ape in on my account. But this portion of your super high risk portfolio, if you want to jump in there, by all means, jump in there. All right. Do you have any questions about?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And if I wasn't a couple glasses in here, I would have comprehended all that. Hopefully everybody else has comprehended all that. So I'm sure that at some point we're going to be talking again, because at over 1,000,000%, I would be interested in that. I think anybody would be interested in that, but obviously, like you said, don't ape into it on behalf of you for sure. But I don't know, some things you just got to take a risk on, right? I think we've all taken a risk at some point, whether it was when we first started in Strong or crypto in general. Maybe you take a risk, not financial advice, obviously, but
absolutely.
If you have something that you can risk. I mean, there's maybe a huge reward there. So thank you for sharing those calculators. You already have a huge fan base, it looks like, in the chat. You probably get blown up on Twitter already, because there's a lot of people that want those calculators. And from personal experience, I did buy the calculator from Steven, and I do have a tax attorney and CPA, and they love it because it is so nice to be able to take out specifically the strong, the fees and everything that's associated there. So if you guys are doing strong, or you're doing crypto and you need something to present to your tax attorney or CPA, they will love you for it. Probably the best investment that you can go and get right now.
I'd be willing to pay for a subscription service.
I agree. I think that we should reconsider this Patreon that you were talking about, as far as talking about whether it's liquidity or liquidity farming, or your calculators, all that. There's a huge gap in knowledge when it comes to liquidity pool farming in crypto. And if you have your mind wrapped around that, and you're able to share it with everyone like you just did us, there's huge potential there. So we should revisit that. I think you do very well.
There's one more thing I want to say about liquidity pool farming before we switch over to another guest speaker, is that some people are sort of low risk liquidity pool yield farmers, and they will do only stable coins. So there are pairs we can do, like DAI and USDC, or DAI and Tether. And if you do those, your risk of impermanent loss is 0. So as long as it's not a rug pool, as long as it's a legitimate liquidity pool, like you can get APRs at 30%, which is an APY of like 90%, which is virtually no risk. So I know a lot of people do that just get their feet wet in liquidity pool yield farming. So it's one thing to consider. Super low risk. You're only messing with stable coins, and you're getting rewards for it. So something to consider.
No, that's awesome. Let me ask you this. Would you be willing to do one-on-one or a handful of classes, whether it's virtually in a Discord channel? We have a Cryptonairz Discord, and we'll bring in LeftyChris, who just did a blockchain class with us today on our Discord channel. Would you be interested in doing something like that, to teach people, to walk them through how to go about, getting their feet wet, for example?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. We'll keep you on if you want to stick around. I know we will all love to talk after we get through everybody here today. What I'd like to do next is, behind me on my background is Human001 has provided an NFT for our Cryptonairz Discord server boosters. And I have a wheel spin that I'm going to bring up on the screen, and I'm going to raffle off this NFT. All right, so we have a handful of people in our Cryptonairz Discord. The link should be in the description below. If it's not, I'm sure a handful of our mods are in the chat now. You can join the Cryptonairz Discord by going to cryptonairz.com and signing up there. There's a handful of people, a handful of our subscribers here tonight. I can see them in the chat, so we appreciate you for showing up. I want to let everybody know that anybody who is server boosted is available to win this NFT. And you can see all the names spinning. Click the wheel. That includes the admin, the mods. I will tell you this now. If I win, I will re-roll for everybody because I just think that it's fair. I think it'd be kind of weird if I won it. But my name is on there, and I will re-roll if it lands on me. So without further ado, let's roll it. This guy literally has a horseshoe so far. Congratulations, Techno God. I tried to be, I'm telling my Discord server right now, I tried to be as fair as possible to everybody here. I can already hear the Discord blowing up. Techno God has won nearly every single special giveaway that we've ever had. So I don't know what to say. Congratulations. I know that the private messages are about to be out of control later. But here's the, again, the NFT is behind me. And congratulations to Techno God. We'll be in contact with you to get it sent over to you. The next thing I want to talk about, though, today is about securing your crypto. And one of the biggest things that you can do is Lex Luthor with StrongBlock, or an ambassador with StrongBlock, has put out multiple Medium articles about how to put your strong nodes on a Trezor or a Ledger wallet. And it's so imperative now that you're seeing Strong at $500 a token. And, you know, for a lot of us that have gotten in fairly early, or even now, even if you haven't gotten in early and you're just getting in now, or you're thinking about getting in, when you're looking at the potential of making even just one node about $1,500 a month, I don't think there's a reason to risk losing that over just web browsing or clicking on the wrong link or trying to get scammed from somebody. So I want to bring up Draco, who has helped a ton of people in our Discord channel with putting their strong nodes and their crypto behind a Trezor or a Ledger wallet.
Hey guys, first of all, I want to start off by saying that was awesome, Steven. That was a great job. You're a legend already, and we love having you being part of our community and letting us use your calculators. And it's going to be really hard to follow that, so I'm going to do my best because you killed it. You knocked it out of the park. Can we do a quick screen share?
Yeah, hold on. I got you. Screen share.
There we go. All right, so just simply, a lot of people use MetaMask as their wallet because it's a hot wallet. It's easy to use. It's involved on Ethereum. And if you just simply look up, you know, can my MetaMask be hacked? The answer is yes. That's the simple answer. There are so many ways that your MetaMask account, your hot wallet, is exposed. I'm telling you as a PSA, I'm trying to be your friend. I'm trying to tell you, if you're using MetaMask and you're using that as a wallet to go around and do things on the internet, please put your MetaMask behind a hardware wallet. And the reason why is because there are so many different things that can steal your information. This specifically talks about having your passwords being used, having your seed phrase being exposed, whether it's a phishing or key logging experiment. They can also do screenshots of your computer. If your computer gets hacked, or if you download a virus, or if you go to a website that's a bad website, you could inadvertently download software that takes screenshots whenever you open up certain windows, or it logs your keystrokes when you're putting in passwords, and it literally will steal all your information over time. One of the things that it doesn't talk about in here is also NFTs. Certain NFTs are malicious NFTs. They have code built into them to take information from your wallet and share them to the host that gave you the NFT. There's so many different things. And just to break it down for people that might not understand all the language that I just threw out there, when you're connected to your MetaMask wallet, what it wants to do, what it's been programmed to do, is to communicate with websites. So when you actually have your MetaMask and you put your password in and you start browsing websites, your MetaMask is attempting to connect to websites. That's what it's supposed to do. That's what it's trying to do. And if you go to the wrong website, or if you click on something while you're researching NFTs, for example, maybe their minting webpage, and you click on it to see what it's all about, and you don't like the project because it's not backed or whatever, they can steal information from your MetaMask just because you're logged into it. So the reason why we bring this up isn't to spread fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's not fear, uncertainty, and doubt. This is real life. And you could lose your funds. You could lose everything you've invested if you don't take the proper steps to protect those things. And the best things that you can do is to go in and check out these wallets, or check out a hard wallet, and then connect your hard wallet to your MetaMask account. This is what Grants was talking about. Lex Luthor put up these how-tos. He actually has some videos as well. This is what we're talking about on how to do this. We didn't invent this. And I'm not sure how much Lex Luthor, what he invented as part of this, but this is not a new concept. This is something that other people are doing. We're just trying to let you guys know that you need to be part of this. You need to do this with your investments. So you can go to Medium, or you can, go to Cryptonairz.com. You can message any of us, and we can help you through this process to take your MetaMask wallet that's on the internet, that's a hot wallet, and take it off the internet and put it behind a hardware wallet so that you're protecting your investment. It's not the end all be all. It's not, the absolute end of the world security, but it's very, very, very good security. We definitely suggest this for people that are staking. We also suggest this for people that are doing nodes. Anything that's connected to that wallet that can't be moved off that wallet, you want to consider putting that wallet behind a hardware wallet. I can't stress it enough. We've had several members in our own community that have either been hacked or that have been fallen prey to individuals that are seeking to steal your money, and they have successfully taken their money, whether it's in the form of Ohm, Strong, or Ethereum, or any of those tokens. And I keep trying to tell everybody this is probably your number one priority. A Treasure One is worth $60. A Ledger Nano is worth around that same price, and you can spend more money if you want. But for $60, you can put your investment behind a hardware wallet. And I would much rather help you do that prior to being attacked and having all of your funds taken from you than after. And I tell this joke to people. I don't want to help you after they steal your money. I will, but I would rather help you protect your investment rather than trying to save your investment once already a lot of it's been taken from you. I think this needs to be talked about more. I think it's your personal responsibility to protect your own investments. And if you're not looking at this as an option, if you're not taking this seriously, you will when you fall prey potentially to somebody taking your investments. If you have 1, 2, 10, 20 strong nodes and somebody hacks that account, you're going to feel really bad that you didn't take these simple steps and spend $60 to protect your investment. I would open up this conversation to the rest of the group if anybody else wants to add some commentary to this conversation, but I don't think we talk about this enough. And I think that us as a community, us all being involved with each other, that this is something that we need to discuss in our small circles of friends and in our communities and the people that follow us to protect your investments.
I agree with you 100%. And there's other steps too that we've talked about taking, and that a handful of us that I know have taken. Simple as, I just discussed before, if you're spending about $5,000 on one node and you're getting about $1,500 back a month, again, your Trezor, your Ledger wallet is $60. It would almost behoove you to just spend the $60 on securing that to continue to potentially get the $1,500, or if Strong goes up, right? If Strong goes to, I don't know, $700 or $1,000 or whatever, even if it goes to 100, you're continue to preserve that continuous passive income coming in. It's almost a requirement.
I agree.
We've also go ahead.
Another thing that a lot of us have done, and this is just another security measure, the computer that you use at home, probably most of the computers that we're using to communicate with each other right now, when it comes to my main investments like Strong and Ohm and stuff like that, I typically don't use that computer for my investments. I have a Chromebook, and that Chromebook has all the security features maxed out, and it's hard to do anything on there except do like cryptocurrency transactions. And I think that's another thing that people need to be aware of. You could even just be doing something on your computer and inadvertently download a virus. And the next time you log into your MetaMask account and do a trade with your crypto, that's when you fall prey to it. So I would even consider, and personally, I would suggest spend a little bit of money, like $200 when you have, a green candle month, and buy a Chromebook and attach your hardware wallets to that Chromebook. And then you never have to be up at night worrying about losing all of your investments, because all you do on that device is use that for cryptocurrency, and it's all backed behind hardware wallets. It's a suggestion. It's not a financial suggestion. It's not financial advice, but I would hate to have anybody I know, anybody in this group, the private chat, anybody lose their investment because they didn't take an extra hour of their time and $60 to protect it.
I agree. And every time I think of Strong and I think of the opportunity that we get because of it, it reminds me of this song here. And I'll just play a little piece of it.
I said I'm in it, baby, got adrenaline. I said I'm working it. I'm gonna go over to the store and buy everything in the goddamn store. Buying everything in the goddamn store. Hey, yo, I'll take this, I'll take that, I'll take the manicure kit, I'll take the X-Wax. I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna buy it.
Well, you're not buying anything. You're not going to buy anything if you lose it all because you don't have a hardware wallet. So if that's your goal, is to go in the store and buy every goddamn thing in the store, protect your investment behind a hardware wallet.
I agree. And, absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things. And I can't agree more. We need to talk about it. And all of us is having this platform now to, share with people. We should be talking about it more. And speaking of a platform, I want to talk to Chris here. We had him come on to the Cryptonairz Discord, and he puts on a blockchain class, whether that's now virtually or in person. And I wanted to bring him on to talk about that because, if it's not already, maybe it's something that we do add, or maybe you have an advanced class that you would bring up security and, obviously protection of your crypto assets. So tell us a little bit about the classes that you're holding.
So actually, before I talk about that, I do want to co-sign that Draco is right. I personally actually just bought myself another ledger 2 weeks ago, and I used Lex Luthor Guide to move my MetaMask wallet to the ledger, and it is very legit. I would stress this as well. Like, that's probably one of the most important things to do. I actually personally know someone that actually got hacked. So it's very vital to protect your assets. What happens, when you have your MetaMask on the ledger is that, let's say you're trying to claim your tokens. Like if you have your MetaMask on the wallet on like Google Chrome or Firefox, normally you claim it and then it'll send a prompt to your MetaMask and say, hey, you have to pay this a certain amount of gas fees or whatever, and then the total transaction cost, and you click confirm. Cool. What the ledger does is that every time you press confirm, you have to go back to your ledger live and click on the two buttons. If you have a Nano S or X, I have the S. So I have to click on two buttons on the S to confirm every single MetaMask transaction. And so that is ultimate security, because I cannot confirm a transaction normally if I'm just on MetaMask. And so that's, I do co-sign and agree, like that's super important to do one day. But as far as the classes, yeah, so I started off with, doing classes in person. I would do 2 or 3 classes. I would do a class with 2 or 3 people, maybe once a week or twice a week. And, one of the big things that I tend to focus on, and I know this is like, it's not necessarily a problem, but I could see it being a problem in the future, is that not enough people take the time to actually understand like why a certain cryptocurrency behaved a certain way, or why does Bitcoin takes a 10-minute block 10 minutes for a transaction period, or 1 hour, if it's congested or whatever. Most people, when I talked about crypto, they tell me that someone else told them to join in because of speculation or hype or whatever. I don't know. It makes me cringe. But I've always been a person that love to learn more. I love to understand things more. And so that's why I got myself more focused, and I wanted to teach more about actual blockchain technology itself. I think that is one of the most important things to actually understand as well, because just knowing about a coin or asset is cool, but understanding the blockchain behind it, that helps a lot. And so I did a beginner's course with Cryptonairz. They hosted it for me, and the beginner course went very well. I'm already hyped. I think I'm going to go ahead and write the advanced and a professional course. The beginner's course was just an hour, and I think the advanced, I'm probably going to try to span it maybe another hour, 30 minutes, and then the professional maybe like 2 or 3 hours or so. But I want to, the general purpose of it all is just to have people understand um, the not only the basics of blockchain technology, but just understand why everything works the way it does, instead of jumping into an asset because they heard someone on Fox, hype it up or something like that.
You're muted.
It's getting late. Come on, guys. All right. So one of the biggest things that I think that is missing, honestly, and I actually get it a lot with, even people that I work with on a daily basis, is education. And we need more people like you and Stephen and Keith, who are willing to provide the various levels of education and understanding in this space, because it is complicated to we're just talking about liquidity pool farming and this rebase or that rebase or unbonding and bonding. I mean, that's advanced, right? And some people don't even know how to open up a wallet or what a MetaMask is or how to even get involved. So kudos to you guys for being willing to share the knowledge that you have with everybody, because education is probably the number one thing. And if we can get more people to understand the space, then it's more adoption. And with more adoption, obviously, greedily, for people who are early, you're going to get more value in that. And even people who just adopt it, there's so much out there without getting into too much world news, but being able to be involved in DeFi spaces and manage your own money, manage your own capital, and not lose out on insane amounts of APR, APY, whatever it is, with your own money, as opposed to sending it to a bank. We're probably going to get banned from YouTube any second, but sending it to a bank for 0.1% APY.
I will make one comment about that. If you guys listened to Gary Gensler live today, I know I did, and he was talking about the future of cryptocurrency. And the one thing that there's two things he said over and over and over again. One, cryptocurrency needs to be regulated, and it will not survive without regulation. My response to that is, it already is surviving. It already is doing well. They don't need you to regulate it, but there needs to be guidelines. I don't disagree with guidelines, but you don't need to come in and regulate it to make it work better. The number two thing you said was, we need to protect everyone. We need to protect all of our American investors. Well, what if we don't want your protection? We don't have that option. So it's scary, because that's how they're framing this, and it's wrong. Be careful of who you're listening to. Be careful of where you get your information. Know what their motivations are when they tell you they're trying to protect you. Typically that does, unless you know the people or they owe you something or you know them well, they probably don't mean to protect you. Just something to think about.
And I just dropped a link from the Washington Post article for the transcript of the interview with Gary Gensler today. And in fact, in terms of education, you can actually go on MIT's website or search it and find Gary Gensler's free class. It's literally an MIT college class that was recorded, and you can watch it's probably maybe 18 or more sessions on there. They're probably an hour to an hour and a half each, so it's pretty lengthy. But it will give you an understanding of blockchain and crypto, and it's an MIT class. I mean, you could feel pretty prestigious doing it. I know I did when I watched it. It just took a lot of my life. But what's interesting is the stance that he's now taking, that Draco is talking about, which is the heavy regulation. It's not so much the regulation for, and they'll spin it for investor protection, but for your protection, what they're saying is your protection. You're losing out on what it's almost what the central banks are getting today. If you look at your 401ks, or if you have Roths or anything like that that you invest into, whether it's personally or through a job or a bank or whatever, you're going to see returns at 7, 8, 10, 14%, whatever it's going to be annually. The banks are doing that with your money. The central banks are investing and acquiring assets with your money. And then for doing that, they're giving you the 0.1% in your savings account for your money. And they're keeping that 14% or that 13%. Heavy regulation takes away that 1,000,000% that Stephen was just talking about earlier. It says, okay, that heavy regulation, that 1,000,000%, 999,000 goes to that central authority. The 1% will go to you. And you're actually seeing that in, I think it was, I'm not sure which exchange just listed OHM, but I just saw a couple tweets on it where they're offering 2,000% for staking, when if you stake through OHM, it's 7,000% right now, right? They're giving you 2,000%. So and it's I believe it's an Asian exchange, but as soon as people in Asia realize what OHM is and that you can stake it for more, they're going to get off of there. But that's just a small glimpse of what the actual central banks are doing to us right now. So regulation means taking the opportunities that we're seeing now and giving it into the hands of your local authorities, whether it's in the United States or elsewhere. And that's the scary thing. And that's what I think, obviously, if we go back to the inception of crypto, right, that's what we're trying to get away from. We're trying to get away from the hand in the honeypot. It's ours. We can do what we want with it. And we're sitting here talking about how we want to secure our assets against malicious actors, the steps that we're taking. So there are knowledgeable people out there that are willing to go through the steps to protect their assets. But right now, regulators are trying to share that's not the case, and I'm not saying that people are not getting.
This is what happens when your constituents are involved in finance and they're scared of crypto. You listen to them because they're who your audience is, and they are doing this to protect their constituents, and their constituents are the banks and the stock markets and the people that own all these big stocks. They're scared. They're scared, and you can tell because they're using the SSC or SEC as the whipping boy to go out and try to regulate it. I mean, that's my final thought on it. I don't want to take all night, but be careful of what you're listening to and be careful of who's giving you the information.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. And that's why it's important to I posted LeftyChris's Twitter address on there. Get a hold of him. Is that something? Would you be willing, if people, just like Stephen is putting his calculator out there and wanting people to get it and donate or selling it, would you be willing, if people hit you up, to do private classes with them?
Oh yeah, of course. That's I would love to do that. In fact, I actually have one set up on Thursday, and so it looked like I'll be doing that weekly, and I enjoy it. But I will say, you follow me on Twitter, LeftyChris13. On my homepage, I have my own new blog. I just started it about a few days ago. And I'm also known for writing a lot of blockchain node guides. Presearch actually just put one of my guides into their official documentation. And so
congratulations.
It still blows my mind, but it's just, I tend to cover, I like to cover all of the steps. I know videos, people love videos and like actually following how-tos on video. But I know there are still a lot of old-fashioned people that still love to actually read text. So I just figured, if I'm going to make something that's text worthy or, worthy of reading, it's going to be very detailed, but still easy enough to follow. And so they loved it. They hit me up, and now it's on pre-search in their documentation. So, and then I also, under that, I have a farming guide. Since we were talking about farming, I have used Juan Chain's farming using Zookeeper. Their APY is not as high as Stefan's numbers, but if you want good 17, 17 up to about 69, 79%, go for it. You actually can stake XRP as well. It's one of the cool things. I actually was doing it last week.
That's awesome. Yeah, and that's something that I need to still wrap my brain around and try to figure out myself, because there are so many of those opportunities. And speaking of pre-search, we're actually going to be interviewing the CEO of pre-search tomorrow. The CEO, Colin, I think it's Pape, is the CEO of pre-search. We'll be interviewing him here on this YouTube channel. Myself and the CEO of Cryptonairz, Rob Doyle, will be talking to him. And I will make sure to give you a shout out for all of your work there, Chris, as far as getting that guide up there, because that is so important. And in fact, another shout out to you. I did get a text message from somebody who I know personally that was in your class today, and felt that everything that you spoke about was easily able to digest and understand, which was important for me, because that person I see on a daily basis, and they kept asking me, I need education. I want education. That's why I'm here. And I'm glad that we can finally deliver that. And kudos to you for doing that. So again, everybody hit up these guys on Twitter. And if you need a calculator, if you need education, go ahead and check them out. If you want to join a community of like-minded individuals that talks about crypto, these guys are also in our community. You can join cryptonairz.com, jump in our Discord channel. The links are below. And, we can get you pretty much any information you need. We talk to the CEOs of major projects, or at least we try to. We have tons of videos and more to come. So I already know from other chats with Steven and other content creators that maybe we'll try to put together education, beyond this. So hopefully we can do that. Is there anything else anyone wants to add before we get out of here? I'm trying to keep it at a reasonable time.
Buy a hardware wallet. Look at everybody on the screen. Buy a hardware wallet. Yep.
Buy a hardware wallet. Contact these guys if you need education, if you're looking for those calculators. And this isn't going to be the first or the last time that we have these guys hopefully on stream. It's always been a pleasure and a good time. So if that's it, we'll see you next time. And thanks for joining us.